Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another lecture. In today's class, we are going to cover a very important topic, a new topic that is called the two-tier board structure. And it is totally different from the traditional unitary board structure. So before understanding the two-tier board structure, let me give you a quick overview that what is the unitary board structure and what is going to be the and what are the basically flaws in the unitary board structure due to which we have developed the idea of the two-tier board structure. So when I talk about the unitary board structure, all right. So in unitary board structure, we have chairman, all right, chairman, then we have director one, two, three, four, so on, so forth, and then we have the chief executive officer. These chief executive officer, right? So these all collectively make the board of directors. All right, this make a board. But we all know that among these directors, chairman, director one, two, three, four, and the CEO, some are going to be non-executive, the independent directors. Some are going to be executive directors, and the chief executive officer is the head of all executives, right? So he is the dominant personality, all right. So basically, when in your business you have this risk that your chief executive is getting dominant, right? Because your chief executive, he is the spokesperson. He is also dealing with the laws and legal regulations. He is well aware of all the operations, activities, function, every area of the company. He is well aware of. He has a good grip and hands-on experience, knowledge of all the areas because he's the head of. He's the boss of executive, right? And also the non-executive directors, they do not participate into the day-to-day activities of the business, and they don't come to company every day. It's the CEO who comes to company every day along with the other executive directors. So he's the boss of them. Don't you think that he is in a dominant position, that whatever he wants to do, whatever he wants to approve, whatever he wants to get a board agree on it, he can dominate and he can influence the other people on it, because now he is the boss of executive and executives have to come to company every day, and they have to deal with him. So he can become dominant personality, he can influence the other people, and he can also influence the whole board, because in board the decisions are made on the consensus basis, the majority voting basis. So for example, if the CEO is proposing something, all right, and he will influence and dominate other executive directors to vote for it because he's the boss of them, and he is having all the knowledge, experience, and expertise, and detail about all the areas of the company. He is also dealing with your regulators, your stakeholders, and everyone. So he might influence the decision, right? So for that issue, for that risk, people have created or developed the two-tier board structure. In two-tier board structure, you actually make the two team. Number one, the supervisory team, all right, and then the management team, all right. And in supervisory board, what you do, you actually place the non-executive directors, all right, non-executive director or maybe some executive directors, but majorly non-executive directors. And here you put the CEO along with the senior management and along with some executive directors. So that's how you split it, and I will tell you that how the two-tier board works. So if I talk about the supervisory board, this supervisory board is actually appointed by the shareholder. Now the shareholders are going to appoint someone who is going to sit here in the supervisory board, all right, led by chairman. So the chairman is going to be the boss of this supervisory board, all right, and chairman is independent, chairman is non-executive directors, all right, consist of majority NEDs. And if it is consisting of majority NEDs, that means that now the decision making, if it is going to be based on the voting, you will have the independent voters, you will have the independent director who will vote independently in the best interest of the company, not their themselves, right? So that's the solution, that's the basic idea behind the two-tier board. Then focuses on long term strategies. Again, since this board is independent, this board is selected by the shareholders, so they will work for the betterment and the best interest of the company, and they will focus on the long term strategy. All voting right vest with them. That means that the management board will have no voting rights. They will have no voting rights. Now CEO cannot influence. The CEO cannot dominate anyone. All right. Supervises the management board. Supervisory board this board is going to supervise them. But now the question comes that, sir, who is going to actually now become the part of the management board? So the management board will be appointed by the supervisory board. So now the supervisory board, which is appointed by the shareholders, all right, shareholder appointed supervisory board, and now supervisory board is going to appoint the management board, all right, and this management board, what they will do, who will be there? Let's see. It will be led by the CEO. So now the CEO is going to be the boss of the supervisory board, all right, or management board, all right, and consist of executive directors. So now you will see that here you will only see the executive directors, all right, those directors who will take part into the day-to-day activities of the business, all right, implements the strategies of whom? Of the supervisory board. So now see, the strategy making, decision making, it's in the hand of who? It's in the hand of supervisory board. And in supervisory board, everyone is independent. Everyone is non-executive director. So now they will, obviously, if the executive director are there, even if they are there, they are not in majority. So they cannot influence the decision making with the malicious intention. All right. So that's how you have resolved this issue of that your CEO might become influential person, or he might dominate the decision making. No, now he cannot. And supervisory board will make the strategies which are long term, which are in best interest of the company, and then supervisory board will ask the management board to implement them. So they will implement the strategy and do not have any voting rights. So now they do not have any voting rights. So if you want to dominate, now you cannot dominate because you do not have any vote, right? Next, we have the benefits of having the two-tier boards. All right, benefits of having the two-tier board. So, sir, what are the benefits? Number one, separation between the strategic and operational role. Now we have two separate boards. Both have their dedicated responsibility. Supervisory board will focus on the strategic matter. Management board will focus on the operational matter because they have executive director who take part into the operational matter. So now they can focus on it, and the non-executive director, they can focus on the strategic matter. Greater independence leading to higher shareholder confidence. Now your supervisory board, who is going to make the decision making, who is going to lead the company, they are having a majority of non-executive independent director. So now the confidence of the shareholder is going to boost. All right, voting rights are vested with the non-executive director, eliminates the domination of CEO. Slower decision making. Now that's one of the disadvantage. Why, sir? What is the disadvantage into it? Because the supervisory board, if they want to make any decision, they need some information. They need to identify the issue. They need to understand the whole scenario. And who will inform them? Who will make them understand? The management board. So now if in case in company there is some issue, so some issue, that issue will be first communicated to the management board. They will understand it, they will analyze it, and then it will be passed on to the supervisory board. Supervisory board will understand it, analyze it, evaluate it, and then will make the decision making. But rather than this, in the unitary board, what used to be, it used to be a single board. So whatever it was, understanding, analyzing, evaluation, decision making, it was done for the one time and along with the whole board and all the members. So that's why it was faster than the two-tier board. All right. Supervisory board restricted from the operational knowledge matter. Now, since the supervisory board has very limited people who are involved in the operational matters, who has the operational information and the operational know-how of the business. So now there would be some issue that supervisory board might be restricted from the operational level or the ground level or field level information which they need in order to make a sound decision making, right? So that is one of the challenge or the disadvantage. Again, how you can overcome it, sir? Because as a business leader, your job is to resolve the problem. So the problem is this: what could be the solution? The solution could be that you can make a mechanism of regular reporting, regular accountability, and regular briefing by the management board to the supervisory board. All right, some internal audit work, some risk management work, some risk management reports and summaries which could be shared with them, some dashboard through which they can be kept updated about the operational matters and the knowledge. Management board members might be demotivated because of not being involved in the strategic matter. Again, being the director, being the leader of the company, if you would restrict them to the operational matters only, there might be some kind of demotivation to them that why we are restricted, why we are not considered worthy enough to take part into the decision making. All right. So there is going to be the feeling of inferior or superior, and that will create a demotivation, right? So that is one of the challenge, right? So this was all about the two-tier board structure. I hope that I was able to explain what is the real problem due to which we go towards the two-tier board, and when we go towards the two-tier board, what is the actual structure and how it actually resolves the main problem along with the advantages and the disadvantages. So see you all in the next lecture. Till then, take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.